everybody. Welcome to Mom Ballz. We're excited to have you guys check us out today. We are coming together to answer some questions for someone that, one of our viewers. I'm Nilka.
I'm LaTwanis.
I'm Robin.
And we are here to share Mom Ballz.
Mom Ballz.
Hey, we want to start out by highlighting the beautiful Robin, who's wearing these gorgeous locks. Look at her locks. Don't y'all love her locks? So what do they got to do, Robin, to find out how you got those gorgeous locks?
Well, first thing you have to do is click subscribe on YouTube, like and share, and I'll tell you who actually did these locks. And I do crochets a lot. So my girl that I use always gives me a fresh new look. Hair can be used over and over, and I can change it up about every 6 weeks. So I'm rocking the locks today.
DM Robin if you want to know who does them. Well, we're going to start out. We are going to answer some questions, right? So I'd like to start out, if that's okay with you guys. Mistakes made. We have children who are in college now. They earned D1 scholarships. And we had an amazing mom write to us and say that she had some moms in their booster club that were trying to brainstorm stuff that they could do. And one of the things that she asked us, we're going to review some of the questions that she asked us today, but the next couple of episodes we're going to continue with her questions. So today we're going to address the first one I'd like to talk about is a mistake that I made, and would I not repeat it? I would not repeat this. And I'm going to tell you this because it's important. My husband is a coach, and he was actually at a coach's clinic, and he shared how getting involved with the coaches, getting involved with the moms, you know what I mean, was a bad idea. Well, one of the things that we did was I was a team mom for my son when he was doing youth football, and then I tried to get involved in high school. One of the mistakes that I made was trusting certain people. I think we all know that when we get involved in groups and clubs that there are people that mean harm or not always well-intentioned. So be careful who you become. Oh, sorry. Be careful. You're right. Be careful who you befriend. Like everybody that's out there is not your friend. Everybody that's out there. Somebody recently posted. You think that people want your child to succeed. They really don't want your child to succeed, especially if their child is not doing great. Especially those parents. So be careful of the parents that try to befriend you, and you know that they kind of have issues, or they're like stuff starters, shift starters.
Right.
I like to say that. And so stay away from those people, because I made the mistake of letting people in, and they called me their friend, and it just became like a big mess. Like it was like within that group, there was gossip, there was hate, there was lies, and it caused a lot of strife on the team, and nobody knew who they could trust. So when it comes to your child in these groups, just do your job. If you're a team mom, do your job. Take care of everybody and make sure that everybody does have a voice, but don't think that it's all friends and nice, because it becomes very cliquey and can cause problems within the team.
So do you think, because I know with us, we've always because I've been on the booster club for 5 years for the girls when they were in high school, and I always felt like it's not ever a good idea to talk about your kids.
Yeah.
I mean, you can talk about your kids' outside activities.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not even okay to talk about the trainers that your kids using. Now, a referral is okay, because if you get into too much conversation, how much you pay for a trainer might be different from how much I pay for a trainer, or what position, or if your daughter or son is going to start, might be a little, and sometimes I remember getting into like a whole almost physical altercation with somebody, with a mom in a hotel for a travel ball game. Yeah. Because she was expressing how she thought her daughter should play over my daughter. And so in order to steer clear of that, I always suggest we don't talk politics and religion. We don't talk about playing time. We don't talk about how much you charge or get charged for a trainer. Some stuff you just steer clear of.
Absolutely.
So I learned that early on.
The fees too. We learned that too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's different. Some parents pay, some parents don't pay. Right. And the parents that pay get mad. So it's just politics all around.
Right.
So we learned that early on, just zip it.
When people asked us who was training Jaden and how much he charged, I said, you know what? I really don't know what his current rates are. That's how I always responded. So
Yeah.
you do best by contacting him, and he'll tell you what his rates are because they vary.
Right.
And that's what I
Yeah,
can
that's
say.
a good answer.
Because
Because that's true too with
we
Hayden.
didn't.
Like, I'm not gonna ask you how much you pay because it might be different than how much I pay. So it's about relationships, and plus and then the other thing too is the kids don't want you talking about that to other parents because they want to keep a good
Their
camaraderie.
friendships,
They want to have friendships, and you know, parents get offended, I find, faster and easier than kids do. Kids let stuff go. Parents be thinking about it 3 weeks later.
But I think the drama stems from the adults.
Yeah, it does most of the time.
And it still exists. It still
Yeah.
exists.
It's not forever exists.
Unfortunately. So I think to avoid the drama, just do your job and don't share too much. Don't overshare. Why do parents overshare? I don't know. Okay, so that's I think that's a good one as far as like a mistake that we made. Can you guys think of any other mistakes that you might have made while you were in that process in high school?
Yeah, we had a mistake that Ben and I made that with Chance. So his freshman year, he was at one school, a situation happened, jealousy, all that stuff was going on. We wish we wouldn't have jumped the gun and moved him because he went to 3 different schools for high school, and he kind of messed up the freshman year. So he didn't even get to play his freshman year because he moved around.
Yeah.
So that's what we would have taken back. What we would have done differently was let him stick it out at that school, let him finish out the year, even with the problems that was going on, because it probably would have worked itself out.
Yeah.
But because we jumped the gun, I mean, hindsight 2020, he is where he is, and things, the things worked out in the end. But looking back, he didn't play his whole freshman year.
Yeah.
Because of probably us jumping the gun. But we did include him, but he's the kid and he wanted to move. He was okay with it. He knew he was doing it. But looking back, we should have just stayed put and made him stick it out.
I think that's good advice. I think that's really good advice. There was plenty of times that Lamar wanted to take Jaden out, and one of our trainers was like, no, don't do it. He's got a great platform there. I know there's this and this going on, but that's a great platform for him to leave him there.
Yeah.
He's already taking the steps. And you got to stick it out. It works out.
And I think too, like, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, all you can do is all you can do. I mean, you have to do the research, like, because we and Gary, when we had our husbands on, he mentioned moving Jada from a travel ball team to another travel ball team, which may have affected her McDonald's All-American chance. I mean, who knows? We don't have a crystal ball. But I say just do your due diligence and don't act on emotion.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes we get pissed off and we like, oh, because we already know we could go somewhere else.
We did act on
But
emotion.
yeah, so you have to calm down.
Yeah.
If prayer is your thing, pray about it. Even talk to friends that will give you good advice, because some people will give you advice to get you in trouble.
They will.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, they will.
So,
So don't get more than one person's advice,
But
and
that's
more
that
than
one
one, and
person.
more, and in a different position.
But I think that's why it's good to say, to make that point here, to make decisions with a level head.
Right.
Yeah.
If we could tell y'all one thing, let it cool off.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's sleep on it.
Sleep on it.
Because we definitely made the wrong move.
Yeah. I mean, sort of, right? Because of the way that it went.
It worked out, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, one of your favorite statements that you make all the time, primo is rises to the top.
Yeah. Right. And so it'll work out, and when you're, and that's just life.
It is.
We don't always know how things are going to work out. So, but just like you said, just make decisions with a cool head. Yeah. Don't get emotional. Don't make it on the spot. Don't, because the coach doesn't put your kid in, don't switch that after that game,
Yeah. Because the grits was definitely lumpy. It needed to be smooth. Yeah. You had to work out all the bumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, so we want to talk a little bit about scheduling and whether or not, or how to
stay
work
organized.
with outside trainers.
Scheduling, organization.
Yeah, that's one of our topics, but scheduling, I think she was asking, like, how do you manage scheduling with work, with your child's schedule and my schedule?
Yeah.
And so I think that we were fortunate in that we're not single moms. So we had our dad, the dads were involved and helped us with that. I think you guys have a better perspective because you have multiple kids doing different things.
Right.
So maybe you guys can tell me a little bit and tell our viewers, how did you guys maneuver with the different kids, different schedules? How did you put all that together? How did you stay on track? How did you not miss stuff? How did you get kids on? We missed stuff, right?
I have shown up many times, not many times, but no, at a doctor's appointment, and my doctor's appointment is not until Wednesday, Monday, because and women, we have, I think our brains are more calculated to do multitasking. Even though I don't really think that's how we were supposed, I'm not the scientist, but I don't know that's how we were actually designed, but we're able to do that much better than men. So we have the knack of multitasking.
I think we were designed that.
I think that's our controlling nature.
Yeah, but
we're
I think
control freaks. We want everything to be our way.
We're not supposed to be able to do that, but we have to do that, so we've acclimated ourselves. But for me, so we have some visuals for you. For me, we decided, because we had a high school senior and we had a freshman in college, so we had a wall calendar like this. You can get it from Staples. Oops, sorry, Tawana. You can get it from Staples or wherever office supply. And I decided to get different colored pens like this. And I just started putting in, like, Jada's Cal games were in pink. Layla's Centennial High School games were in green. And then whatever major activities, I would use this as a big calendar, so that way my husband or the kids could, like, look at it and say, okay, we can't do this on this day, or this is our plan for that day. But really, my phone, and I have an iPhone, my calendar keeps all of our dentist appointments, hair appointments, nail appointments,
and you can set
doctor's
alerts.
appointments.
Yes.
And my alerts, like, I have to mute them when we're doing these podcasts, because I have an alert for almost everything. Take your vitamins, turn in the paperwork. So those are in your alerts. It should be anything that you're going to do every single week, like vitamins. I schedule it every day, Monday through Sunday at this particular time. And then you can always go, you can snooze an alert, or you can check that off of your list. And then another thing with the alerts, which is nice, is if you don't want to do, like, on this major calendar or your calendar on your phone, you can put an alert that says on Sunday at 1:30 we're going to film. Give yourself a 30-minute window. So I guess my point is planning.
Yeah.
Do you find that too, LaTonya? Because you have 12 kids.
She has
12.
We all have
12.
We each have 4. Right.
And she's busy, so what are your thoughts on?
So same, even though I didn't have that, I had that for my business, but I use my phone, which I'm filming right now. So, but same thing, the alerts.
Yeah.
Everything has to go in there, and that works for me. So get them up from school. You know, I'm always snoozing it to the time my feet hit the floor, doctor's appointment, all that stuff. Same thing she just said.
Yeah.
I think I'll be lost if I lost my iPhone. So
yeah. Now I have a similar calendar, but mine was dry erase.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's mine.
Yeah, I like the dry erase because appointments would change and meetings would change, and we started using it more. And it's a calendar dry erase. It's not just a plain one. It actually has a calendar already on it. And for us, we started using it when Jada was going through recruiting, because we had some days we had 3 different schools, and I couldn't keep the coaches straight, so we were putting the times in. So that helped. So the calendaring I love. For me, I have to have it in front of me. My phone, even though the alerts would come on, if I snooze that or turn it off, then it's gone.
Yeah.
So I had to have it also on paper. It's kind of like a law firm. Like, we have to have 2 forms of docketing and calendaring.
Yeah.
So you just have to, back yourself up and keep something, to keep it before you and keep it on you. So you remember, and you get your kids where they need to be. You get their paperwork. And you mentioned paperwork, like athletic packets. Those are important to get in.
Yeah.
When we talk a little bit about organizing and scheduling and outside trainers, I want to go into that because we kind of had that. When scheduling outside trainers, we decided that it was important to do outside trainers because we found that school training was basic and it was good, but it wasn't enough. Yeah. If your child is elite, we all know, right? You gotta outwork everybody. You just do. And if not, this is not the case with you guys. This was different. I know why, Chance, that you guys had that issue when you was in the 9th grade. But if your kid is not playing, the real is you have to ask yourself, is my kid not doing enough to get an opportunity to play? Why? You gotta ask yourself that. So that's when you wanna invest in trainers. There are organizations out there that will charge you thousands of dollars and tell you, we promise you to get a kid a scholarship if you give us this. You don't pay for a scholarship, okay? Your kid has to work for that. And so the outside training aspect is find someone that has been referred to you that you know has helped a kid get better, a kid get faster, a kid get more specialized in whatever ball they play. Your kids play basketball, my kid played football. You want to find somebody that will help them with strength and agility. You want someone that will help them with speed. You want someone to help them with just growing and diet, all that. So that is important when you look for a trainer. And there are trainers out there that'll work within your budget if you have a budget. If you're a single mom, there are kind trainers out there that are good at what they do and they will work with you. So these other organizations that are charging tens of thousands of dollars, run for the hills. That's my advice.
So when do you train though? I mean, that's a question. If you have high school sports and you're playing and then you're in season, you usually have games, you have training, you have practice. So how do you find training time? I mean, what does that look like? Like for Chance, for basketball, when would he train?
So let's see, let's break it down. He would go to school, then he would have practice with the school. So Chance trained at 5.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would get up at 5 and get to the gym. Wasn't nobody in the gym.
Right. That's right.
So he
by himself.
He was there by himself. And you know what was crazy? His coach didn't even know he was doing that. And the assistant coach who was always open up, because they got to commit to that too.
Yeah.
Because he want to go there at 5. Now I got to commit to go open the door for this kid, Not to mention, so eventually they would, kid, hey, don't lose the shit. Or, don't tell nobody. Don't lose the shit. And then the coach was like, man, I didn't even know he was doing that. It's like, yeah, because he in there outworking everybody. And that's why it was so crazy, because you get mad at these kids that just think it's supposed to be handed to them just because they're a senior. And it's like, dude, but are you putting in the work? You're not even putting in the work.
I don't even know if they think it should be handed to them. They really think they're doing enough. And that's the key. Like, we always told Jaden, when we listen to the pros, when we listen to the college level players that had high profile on television, listen to what they're saying. I learned what the best player at my position did, and I did more. And we always taught that to Jaden. And one of the guys that my husband trained in high school years ago, Jaden was a little boy, and Jaden looked up to him. He played at Oregon, and he was a top cornerback at Oregon. And he told Jaden, whatever college you choose, you find out who was the best corner, because at this time Jaden was playing corner. You find out who was the best corner to ever come through that college, and you do more than he did, and your goal is to be better than he was. And so we always instilled that in Jaden. So you have to teach your children that if you really want to play at an elite level, you want to get a D1 scholarship, if you think you deserve it, ask yourself, am I outworking the best guy to come through here even? Jaden's goals at Centen was, who's up there? How many interceptions he got? I'm gonna get one more than him. And that was his goal his whole time. He didn't reach that goal, but he worked toward that goal. And he was,
which made him better.
He actually is one of the highest decorated players ever in the football program. Like, top. So just achieve. That's right. That's right. That's right. So
that's what you said. Like, goal. You have to set that goal and work towards that goal.
That's right.
Whatever that is.
Speaking of that, so Ben just had someone call him last week, and he went to go help the guy with his son. But he called him. He was like, and you know who it is. He called him. He was like, "Hey man, I just want to talk to you about Chance. I'm working with my son. And Ben was like, "How many reps is he getting in outside of school training?"
Yeah.
And he said, right now we're doing like 300. Ben was like, "Man, that's not enough." He said, "You know how many Chance gets up every single day? Ben is on him even today. Like, go get your reps, 1,000." And he said, "What?" He was like, "Oh my God." He was like, right. He was like, "Man," he said, "I guess we're not doing enough." And he was like, "So will you come help me?" So he asked Ben to get up with him that next morning and meet him at 24 Hour Fitness. And he was like, "Just come show me what to do one time, and I'll take it from there." And Ben was like, "Yeah, I gotta go." I was like, "You doing what?" So he was like, "Thought they were doing enough." But
one of the things that Jaden did, because we're still kind of talking about when did they train? One of the things that Jaden did was there were a few mornings that he got up early. Remember I told y'all I thought it was an animal in the vents? And it was my son jumping rope at 6 o'clock in the morning outside my bedroom window. And I was like, what is that? What is that noise? But he also would get up Saturdays. If sometimes they had Saturday workouts, but Jaden would still do extra. He would come home, either lift here in the garage, or they started lifting at Coach B's house. He's the local track guy that helps kids with lifting. They've opened up their house to our youth in the community, and they have now he has 40 youth because Lamar kind of sent some kids his way, but they go to their house, they work out, they lift. So on top of school, if he had a day that they didn't lift to school for whatever reason, they might have worked on speed, then that day he would come home and lift, or he would go over there, and it would be at night. It would be when he got home, and he'd be tired, he'd be hungry, which leads me into meals. And preparation, right? And school lunches. So I'm gonna start because Jaden could not eat school lunches because the lines were too long. He's like, Mom, by the time I get there, it's time to go back. I don't get any food.
Right.
I found this thing, it's so cool. Okay, so I bought this on Amazon. I'll show you. It was $19, okay? I ordered it on Amazon. And I think I looked at lunch thermos, something like that. Look at this bomb thermos, okay? So it comes in this it's like a insulated, keeps everything warm or cold, whatever you do. It comes with its own fork and spoon.
Oh, okay.
Ain't that cool? Yep, fork and spoon. Wait, there it is. Fork and spoon. Okay. And then it has compartments. So one of the things that I really liked about this, because if I only sent him, one time I sent him a burger. I could put the buns in one, and I could put the burger in the other. But then there was also one for sauces. So this one, wait, where is it? Oops, I lost it. One of these has a lid for sauces. Oh, here it is. So this goes on top. So if I had a sauce or some extra little vegetables or something extra that he didn't want it to sog up whatever he had, then we kept it separate. So we could put ketchup and mustard and stuff in here, right? But I could just send 2 or 1 if it was just one good meal, like a stew with rice.
So you could do burger and spaghetti.
Yeah, you do burger. Yeah, you do burger spaghetti. Yeah,
robust.
Now this carbs, right? Now this was just for lunch, but he would also take Ensures, or I would make him a shake, and I had something like a thermos, that kept it cold or hot. But you have one too. We use this. So this was in his trunk for after practice, because sometimes they'd hang out and talk to their friends. So what they started doing was opening the trunk, and they had food, and they'd be eating together, sitting in the trunk, because they're talking, but now they're eating, they're nourishing themselves, because it's important for them to get their protein right after they work out, right after they've been training. Otherwise, they're going to get too skinny, or they're going to not be tired. But this has a lot of compartments too. You can put your dry ingredients like bread and things that you don't want to get cold. And then you have the insulated inside where you can make cold or hot. But I have these ice packy things, but they have bigger ones. And you can put drinks in there, and you can put
I have one just like that.
fruit, yogurt. Yeah, I used to make Jaden parfaits in here too. That's what I did. Parfaits. I did the little ones.
Sometimes the kids don't, for girls, and I know because Laquanis is a cooker, so you make lots of yummy food. Girls might be different, or it might be some guys too. They didn't always want to eat. I think the hormones, if it's the cycle time, in the morning. So just trying to get something in their system.
And I was impressed one time I came over your house. I think
granola bars.
All your girls were making their own lunches. I was like, what?
Yeah, they did. But they would make, I had to tell them, make a smoothie in the morning, because you can't, when they were, remember when Chance and Jada and Layla were working out early in the morning, who wants to eat it? They're getting up at 4, who wants to eat? So make them eat a bar. Make them have a piece of fruit.
A protein shake.
Yeah. So, and then they did make their own lunches, but the problem is after a while they get sick of it.
Yeah.
So salads became a staple.
Yeah.
I mean, salads, because they didn't want too much on their stomachs. They're doing a lot of working out, running. They don't want a lot on their stomach. So you have to find something that they like.
Yeah.
That you know that they're going to put in their body to fuel it, because food turns to fuel, which gives them energy.
Right.
And if they don't have any energy, they're flat.
Right.
So
this was fun though, because then whatever I made for dinner, he didn't mind having it for lunch, especially if I made a roast. He loves his roast. He could eat that for 4 days in a row. Put some rice in one.
Good in that too.
Yeah, spaghetti would be good in that. Put some rice in one, the roast in another, and then some, and then I would do a parfait. So one of them would have a yogurt, and then the top, that little top, I would put granola because he didn't like his granola.
I thought it was a drink container.
Right. It was $20. It was like
amazing.
And it wasn't a brand. It wasn't a brand. You just Google it. There was different people who make it.
So it keeps it hot and cold.
It keeps it hot and cold.
Yep. Love that.
Love that. I loved it. He loved it because he could fit it in his backpack because he didn't want to carry this. He hated carrying this. But we would fill it with stuff. Actually, one of the other moms, because she might be watching, one of the other moms did it. She filled meals for her son and Jaden, who was his best friend in high school. And she would fill it with meals for afterward, like burritos and
so you don't let your kids get you into spending all your money on Wobble Grip or any type of fast food place. Plus all of the preservatives and the artificial fillers.
We definitely promote home cooking.
Cooked meals.
My friends would laugh at me. They'd be like, "Girl, I'm not doing enough," because I would literally get up before they're up, and I'm frying bacon, scrambling eggs, making homemade waffles. They went out and cutting up strawberries and oranges. They went out with a good breakfast because I didn't want them. I feel like when they eat good, they can do good in school. So I always sent them out the door with, full because they don't want to eat.
You're amazing. You're the exception though because you're at home. Like not a lot of moms. Most moms work. I used to leave before my kids got up.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I started doing was, and this is a tip for you guys that are trying to organize and how do you manage the schedule. When I was putting dinner up, I was making his lunch. So at the same time that you're putting containers in the refrigerator, you're putting containers together for lunch. And then if it's cold, it was easier to do it with cold. It's easier to do it with like yogurt. What I would do is maybe make a separate container for his hot stuff, warm it up really fast in the morning and stick it in there. By the time he got up, it was on the counter, it was ready to go.
Yeah, my lazy days with oatmeal, I would be like, grab some oatmeal. And maybe I would fry a sausage, but I'm like, get some oatmeal. That's when I ain't feel like doing nothing.
But that's better than a donut.
Right.
Because they gonna try you.
Yeah.
When we go to Starbucks, and when we used to travel from Corona to Azusa, that was like in traffic. We would be in traffic for like an hour and a half. So we would have my cooler. We would have meals. So in their everybody would have their tray. They were reading and eating.
Yeah.
Because I could easily go through McDonald's. I mean, how easy is that? But one, it's very expensive.
And
two, it's not good for you. And so pack your meal. So I think like with our scheduling topic, if we could suggest anything, is you have to plan and prepare. You have to plan and prepare.
And I want to. Oh, that's right. Plan and prepare. I got one more tip though, and this is what we did. If your kid is a 10th grader, 11th grader, start teaching them to wake themselves up. They need to set their own alarm because in college, you're not gonna be able to wake them up. And then you worry, right? Then you worry. Oh my God, is he gonna get up? But we do that because we're loving mothers and we're nurturing. We want to do everything. We want to be there for them. We want to do everything for them. But at some point, you have to train your kid to do their own thing. We in this household, all of our kids learned to do laundry at 9 years old. They were doing their own laundry. They had their own basket. And, we supervised it the first, several. But by 9 years old, they were washing their own clothes. So that's a tip for time management because you're trying to do everything. You can't do everything, especially if you work, especially if you're a single mom, especially if you have more than one kid doing sports.
So teach your kids what you're doing.
Yes.
Because they're going to have to do it by themselves.
They're going to have to do it by themselves.
And we want to remind you guys to subscribe to our channel, like, and hit the alert button.
Yep. That's it.
Thank you for joining me.
Mom Ballz.
Bye.